Ladies and gentlemen, this is the world's only one-legged wrestler. My name is Zach Gowen, and you're listening to 360 Wrestling Fanatic. Keep it locked in.
Today on 360 Wrestling Fanatic, I will recap last night's TNA Slammiversary pay-per-view, and it was an event that saw new champions crowned, possibly one of the best women's matches I have ever seen, and who is the TNA World Heavyweight Champion after Slammiversary last night. That is all right here, right now, 360 Wrestling Fanatic. Hey wrestling fans, welcome to another episode of 360 Wrestling Fanatic, Monday, June 3rd, 2013. Welcome everybody, thanks for listening today, and I am going to start today's show off by recapping last night's huge event, TNA Slammiversary, live on pay-per-view, live from Boston. And we started off with a video package focusing on the history of TNA with Slammiversary and when Aces and Eights started, and then the TNA World Champion Bully Ray talking about turning the company upside down and how he plans to end an era by beating Sting tonight in Boston. A graphic opening hits welcoming us to Slammiversary, and we go live to the arena in Boston, and tonight's commentators are Mike Tenay, Todd Kenley, and Taz. And our opening match of the evening is a three-way Ultimate X match for the TNA Impact Wrestling X Division Championship, and it is the champion Kenny King defending against Chris Sabin and Suicide. And this one was a really great match, I thought. Not really as much as High Risk, I don't think, well, not as much as we've seen in some of the other Ultimate X matches, but it was still a very good match. Nobody was seriously injured. They didn't do anything really too crazy in this match. And Chris Sabin won the match to win the X Division Championship once again for the first time since he has returned since his last injury. But like I said, there were just any serious injuries in this match. But there was one little minor injury at the end of the match here, which saw Chris Sabin, after he won the title, somehow when he was celebrating with the championship, he hit himself in the head with the title, and it ended up busting himself open, and that's why he was bleeding at the end of the match. And then Sabin makes his way up the ramp. Hulk Hogan's music hits. Hogan grabs the arm of Chris Sabin and raises it. He gets on the mic and says, "I want Mr. Sabin to hear what my Boston Maniacs sound like, brother." Hogan says Boston loves a champion and says Sabin is the future of the business. He reminds us that the X Division champion will be earning a shot at the TNA Impact Wrestling World Heavyweight Championship this summer, just like last year at Destination X. And that's one thing I just, real quick, want to talk about. He said that will happen at Destination X this year, but there's only one problem with that, though. There is no Destination X anymore. Now, with doing the 4 live pay-per-views a year, Destination X is not one of the pay-per-views they're doing, unless they have either they're just going to do a special episode of Impact Wrestling and call it Destination X, or maybe even a primetime special on Spike TV, maybe something like that. They might have something planned. Okay, now to get back to Hogan. He continues down the ramp and says it's time to get down to business. When the Aces and Eights music hits, Mr. Anderson walks out with a mic along with Wes Briscoe and Garrett Bischoff. He says Aces and Eights are going to steal the show. Hogan says Boston isn't scared of ghosts, terrorists, or 3 wussies wearing leather. He flips off Anderson with the last line. Hogan says tonight Devon will lose the TNA Television Championship and threatens to slap Garrett Bischoff. Hogan says Sting will punk out Bully Ray and bring the power back to TNA, brother. He said it's time to get things going tonight for the 6-man tag team match. Hogan introduces Magnus, Samoa Joe, and Jeff Hardy. Now, the funny thing about this, I thought, is almost like Hogan, he kind of acted like he was announcing this match for the first time. But of course, it was already announced last week that this match was going to happen, but the way he said it, it was kind of like he was just making that match right then and there. But that's not really a big deal, though. Now, like I just said, 6-man tag team action, Aces and Eights, Mr. Anderson, Wes Briscoe, and Garrett Bischoff taking on Jeff Hardy, Samoa Joe, and Magnus representing TNA. Good, solid match, I thought. Jeff Hardy, Magnus, and Samoa Joe got the win, which I predicted on the last episode of 360 Wrestling Fanatic, and Jeff Hardy got the pin, just like I thought he would. And after the match, Jeff Hardy, Joe, and Magnus celebrated in the corners of the ring, and then we see highlights of the match leading to the finish. We go back and we take a look at TNA Bound for Glory 2006, which was right here in Plymouth, Michigan, which saw Sting defeat Jeff Jarrett to become the NWA World Champion. And backstage, Jeremy Borash is with Joseph Park. Park talks about tonight being the 11-year anniversary of TNA and how is 1-year anniversary with the company. Devon and Nux attack Park from behind and leave him laying and bloodied. And now it is time for the Gut Check Tournament final match, where the winner will be in this year's TNA Bound for Glory series. Jay Bradley taking on Sam Shaw. This one was just It was kind of a short match, but wasn't a bad match. Wasn't really that great either, but like I said, it wasn't a bad one either. So get to the finish. Shaw drops Bradley over his back. Bradley counters with a rake of the eyes and connects with his boomstick lariat finisher. Bradley hooks the leg and gets the pinfall. So Jay Bradley will now be competing in this year's Bound for Glory series. And you never know, may even get a shot at the TNA World Championship. Backstage, Jeremy Borash is backstage with Austin Aries and Bobby Roode, the Dirty Heels. Roode reminds everyone he was the longest reigning TNA World Champion, and Aries reminds everyone that he cashed in his X Division Championship to beat Roode for that title. Roode tells Storm that Gunner might be his tag team partner tonight, but he is no Bobby Roode. A video package runs hyping the match between Devon and Joseph Park. And now it is time for that match for the TNA Impact Wrestling Television Championship, in which I just talked about a couple minutes ago. Devon and Nux attacked Joseph Park in the back, and Devon comes out, but Joseph Park does not. Devon cuts a quick promo, and then he tells the referee to count him out and to declare him the winner. So Devon wins the match to retain the TV title, and then after the match he talks about Abyss, and he says if Abyss was there he would beat him, but he's not. And then Abyss's music hits, and out comes the monster, and we have a television championship match right now. Devon versus Abyss, and Abyss gets the win over Devon to become the new TNA Impact Wrestling Television Champion. This one was, it was a short match, but it was okay. Pretty good match here, I thought. Abyss wins. Now, I knew Abyss was going to get involved somehow, but I really didn't expect him to wrestle the match. But when Devon started cutting the promo and talking about him, you knew he was going to come out. And even earlier in the night, it was kind of obvious when they attacked Joseph Park that Abyss was going to take his place. And then after the match, Abyss is handed the title and celebrates. Taz refuses to believe that this match was even official to begin with. Taz adds, "I'm getting a headache out here." Now we see highlights from Bound for Glory 2007. Sting defeating Kurt Angle to become the new TNA World Heavyweight Champion. And now it is time for the announcement of the second inductee to the TNA Hall of Fame. And we see the TNA President Dixie Carter make her way to the ring. Carter talks about TNA celebrating 11 years tonight and thanks all the fans for the support. Tonight, she will be announcing the second inductee into the TNA Hall of Fame. Last year it was Sting, and tonight I would love to ask all the men and women of TNA to come to the stage for tonight's announcement. And then she announces who the next inductee is, and is none other than the Olympic gold medalist Kurt Angle. And we see a very good video package showing highlights of him winning the gold medal, and then of course highlights of his career in TNA. Very good video. And I just want to say I have no problem at all with Kurt Angle going into the Hall of Fame. I'm a little surprised that it is this year, but he definitely deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. And a lot of people are complaining about how it wasn't really one of the TNA originals, but I really don't mind because most of them still have long careers ahead of them, like AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, Christopher Daniels, and others. They still have long careers ahead of them, and I would even say Bobby Roode too. Sometime, not for a while though, but sometime down the road, could be a future Hall of Famer. So I have no problem with Kurt Angle going in, and he will be inducted into the TNA Hall of Fame this October at Bound for Glory. And next up, highlights from Bound for Glory 2008, Sting defeating Samoa Joe once again to become the TNA World Champion. And footage is shown of Sting arriving to the arena earlier today, and backstage, Jeremy Borash is with Bad Influence, Christopher Daniels, and Kazarian. Daniels talks about making the TNA Impact Wrestling World Tag Team Championships mean something again in TNA. Excuse me. And now it is time for the 4-team elimination match that is for the TNA Impact Wrestling World Tag Team Championships. The champions, Chavo Guerrero and Hernandez defending against Bad Influence, Christopher Daniels, and Kazarian. The Dirty Heels, Austin Aries and Bobby Roode, and James Storm and Gunner. The first team to be eliminated in this match is Bad Influence after Christopher Daniels gets disqualified after using one of the tag titles. And the next elimination is Chavo Guerrero and Hernandez. So it is guaranteed we will see new tag team champions tonight. And the winners of the match and new TNA Impact Wrestling World Tag Team Champions are the Cowboy James Storm and Gunner. After the match, James Storm and Gunner celebrate with the titles in hand. Storm grabs some beer and celebrates in the corner. Jeremy Borash is backstage with Brooke Hogan. She talks about the growth of the TNA Knockouts division and how Taryn Terrell has grown from a referee into a wrestler. Borash asks if she still loves Bully Ray, and then Brooke just ends the interview. A video package is shown focusing on Gail Kim and Taryn Terrell. And it is now time for that last knockout standing match, Gail Kim and Taryn Terrell, and all I have to say, match of the night. Yes, I'm surprised, and everybody that I heard on the internet talk about this was surprised, but yes, this was the best match of the night. This was the best women's match I have seen in a long time. Gail Kim and Taryn Terrell, both of them were great. Gail Kim, everybody knows she can go out there and have a great match. She's a great wrestler, but also Taryn Terrell was awesome last night. And like I said on the last episode, when I did my predictions, I thought Gail Kim was going to get the win. But I really would have liked to see Taryn Terrell win the match. But I really did not think she was going to. But they put her over last night. And she deserved to be put over. She deserved to win that match. It was these two, like I said, were just great. I would even say a 5-star match here. It ended when they were both on the entrance ramp close to the ring. Gail Kim going for a pile driver but is blocked by Taryn. And then she connects with a bulldog off the entrance ramp to the floor. That was a great spot. And Taryn Terrell just made it up right before the 10 count to win the match. And I love this match. And I can't say this enough. match of the night here. It was just a fantastic match. And Taryn Terrell, I'm even more of a fan of hers now. And she was great last night. She really impressed me. And Gail Kim was great too. And have to give both of them a lot of credit, all the credit in the world. And next up, we see highlights of July 2010, Sting defeating Mr. Anderson to win the TNA World title. And then we see a video package focusing on the feud between Kurt Angle versus AJ Styles. And now it is time for that match. And AJ Styles has brand new theme music, a little darker music, a darker entrance. But I like it though, I like the new theme song. And of course, I've said this on the last episode, and I've said it lots of times before, when you have AJ Styles and Kurt Angle in the ring, one-on-one, you know it's a great match, and last night was no different. Between these two great wrestlers, now Kurt Angle, we know now he's going to be a Hall of Famer, and I'm sure AJ Styles will be in the TNA Hall of Fame someday as well. So, this was a great match here. Angle hits the corner with force. When he charges, Styles moves. Styles props Angle up in the corner. Angle falls back in the Tree of Woe. Styles with a big drop kick to the chest of Angle. Styles misses a springboard attempt and lands on his face. Angle with a close roll-up, resulting in a 2 count. Styles counters an Angle slam. Angle with a big takedown and holds Styles down to get the pinfall. So the winner of the match, Kurt Angle, but I think this feud is going to continue between these two. After the match, we see a replay of the finish. Angle's big takedown on Styles leading to the pinfall. We see a shot of Angle celebrating at the top of the ramp, saluting the crowd in Boston. Then backstage we see TNA World Champion Bully Ray. He said he isn't sure if Sting really understands what he got himself into with this no-holds-barred stipulation. Ray talks about how he wants to finish Sting with the most feared move in pro wrestling today, or in the past, the pile driver. A video package runs focusing on Bully Ray versus Sting. And now it is time for the main event of the evening, the match for the TNA Impact Wrestling World Heavyweight Championship. No holds barred, and if Sting loses, he can never challenge for the TNA World title again. And in the first little bit of the match, a loud "You Still Got It" chant starts for Sting. And this was a great match. One point in the match, Bully Ray pulls up the canvas, pulls up the mats, and pile drives Sting right onto the plywood boards. But it was only a 2 count. And then Sting ends up hitting the Scorpion Death Drop also on the boards. And then we see interference from Aces and Eights as they cost Sting the match. Sting starts to fight back, and then we see Mr. Anderson make his way to ringside and hand Bully Ray the hammer. And right when Sting is about to jump off the top rope, and then as he is in the air, Bully Ray nails Sting with the hammer, knocks him out, and is able to get the pin for the 1-2-3. So the winner of the main event, and still the TNA Impact Wrestling World Heavyweight Champion, Bully Ray. So Sting will not get any more shots at the TNA World title anymore. Bully Ray is still the Impact Wrestling World Champion. And even though Aces and Eights lost the TV title, they kept the biggest title in the company. And I was wrong what I said the other day. Brooke did not turn like I thought she would, but she did make a quick appearance during the main event at one point. And so, very good main event between Sting and Bully Ray, I thought. Bully Ray retained, just like I thought he would. But, like I said, Sting looked good in the match, and so did Bully Ray, of course. And that was TNA Slammiversary. Overall, it was a great pay-per-view. I loved the show. I thought it was definitely 2 thumbs up, and every match was at least good or better. The main event was really good. Styles and Angle was great. And once again, I want to talk about the match of the night, in my opinion. Taryn Terrell and Gail Kim, last knockout standing. And I just want to ask, when was the last time for a WWE show that you can say the best match on the card was a Divas match? I would say probably a very long time, if ever. So, I give both of them all the credit in the world for having such a great match, and everybody that was a part of Slammiversary last night, I give them credit. And I'm going to wrap up today's show. Thanks for listening, everybody. And remember, you can email the show at lb360wrestlingfanatic@aol.com. If you want to ask questions, give your feedback on Slammiversary, or just make comments about anything, lb360wrestlingfanatic@aol.com. And also, you can like 360 Wrestling Fanatic Radio on Facebook, and follow the show on Twitter at 360 Fanatic Radio. Follow 360 Wrestling Fanatic on Instagram and Pinterest. Also, please subscribe to the show on iTunes, and while you're there, feel free to give us a 5-star rating and leave us a good review, or a bad one if you want. And that is all for today. Hope to have another show up soon. Remember, watch all wrestling and support the indies. I am Lance, and I am a wrestling fanatic. And I'm going to end the show with some old school AJ Styles theme.